Hello, guys. Get started in a minute here. Okay, let's go and pick it back up. We'll be looking at antibiotics tonight, which, I'll be honest, they're not the most exciting area as far as teaching, but as far as clinical medicine, they are exciting because you really get to cure people versus the hypertension and the diabetes drugs and so on. But I need something else to your attention before we get started, and that is something that was mentioned way back last summer. We always think these things are never going to come, and now we're staring at it. If you were to pull open the syllabus, there's this section called the student-directed learning, where medical school and basically the LCME is requiring us to at least have one self-directed learning exercise, where you guys are going to have to identify a knowledge gap, and go do some research, praise your credibility of your resources, share your information with your supervisors and peers, basically me, but more importantly, we scan on down here in the syllabus. It's write an MD style multiple choice question with 5 answers and provide reasoning for the correct and incorrect answers. Share that with your TBL group. Now it says on here on the 3rd TBL session, obviously we didn't make this, but we will be doing it for the 4th one. So just kind of a warning, think about something that isn't too painful you got to look up and write a question on. I realize this is maybe not the most favorite thing in the world, but let's get it done, and we'll look at those when we do our PBLs when I swing around for the review after the 4th exam. Okay, but one other adjustment here. Okay, look at the antibiotics, the type of microorganisms we're going to be dealing with. We will certainly be looking at the viruses, and unfortunately that used to be 2 pages in the huge Pharm book, Goodman and Gilman's. Now, of course, it's chapters. That's good, that's bad, but it has added quite a bit here. We'll actually look at those third. Let's start off with the viruses. Chlamydia and rickettsia, the spirochetes, through the actinomyces, that's what we'll look at first. Fungi, we actually hit second. So we'll look at the bacteria, basically, then the fungi, then the viruses, and finally 4th, the plasmodia I look at are the malaria-causing agents. The worms and so on, I do not cover. I have covered them in the past, and I found that it's a dead repeat of micro. A lot of those drugs, we don't really understand how they work, so it's kind of like, it really seemed pointless to me. But areas to exploit. What's the difference between a prokaryote and a eukaryote? So obviously some things like the nucleus. Eukaryotes have this nice nuclear-bound membrane, where the prokaryotic nucleus is spread out everywhere. We can't really exploit that, though. As far as metabolism and vitamins that human cells can't generate, the prokaryotes can. Add a few drugs here. The ribosomes. Bacterial ribosomes are a different size and binding capabilities than human ribosomes. And I said, why don't I get rid of some there and say many drugs? Cell membranes, bacteria lack sterols in their membranes that human membranes have, so we don't really have anything there. Bacteria don't have anything. But the antifungal agents frequently work on ergosterol. So that's where a lot of these work. So when we get down to the next one, the cell wall, of course, that's the big one. Bacteria rely on the cell wall to maintain their function, stabilizing their. They use the peptidoglycan to stabilize that cell wall. Well, there's the peptidoglycan is found in bacteria, spirochetes, actomyces, even some algae that we don't care about. To start off, though, what microorganism doesn't have a cell wall? It's fairly important. Before I start asking questions, I don't know, let's see. Very good, Kevin. Yeah, that's the answers that I was looking for. Slim pickings tonight. But yeah, the Mycoplasma pneumoniae don't have that. Usually when there's a pap test in Terre Haute, there's a pap test everywhere. I don't take it personally anymore. The first year I did this, it was quite a shock. There was one night where I was lecturing alone. I just kind of, wow, did everybody suddenly get really pissed off at this course? I didn't know about it. So, but when we go through the antibiotics, it gets confusing. There's a lot of them. But keep in mind, there's really just two main classes. There's your ribosome inhibitors, there's your cell wall inhibitors. So those are your two main classes of antibiotics. And then there's some sundry ones, kind of an eclectic group. But basically, 95% of it is ribosomal inhibitors and cell wall inhibitors. At least maybe percent. If you keep that straight, you start to realize, all right, when I think of a drug, which of those two classes does it fit in? If it doesn't fit in either of those, it must be in that eclectic class. And that will help keep it simpler. Part of what's confusing about the antibiotics is we have a particular infection, there's several different drugs that can be used. And we'll look at that and try and keep it simple. We're not trying to turn people into ID doctors tonight. Okay, the cell wall, of course. You've got these alternating residues of glucosamine and inositol-muramic acid. And also got this cross-linking pentapeptide that really stabilizes everything. The gram-positive have a much more developed cell wall, so they rely on it more. That more developed cell wall, therefore they've got a higher sensitivity. To interruption. Whereas the gram negatives, if you have a cell wall, it's just not as important. Okay, we're going to go through the cell wall formation really briefly. Partly because there's a lot to it, but there aren't that many places where the drugs really work. So I don't want to overdo it here and get into some details that neither of us care about a whole lot. But starting up here on the N-acetyl-glucosamine at the top of the page. The phosphoenolate rubate comes in, hydrogens come in, and we wind up with this N-acetyl-glucosamine pyruvate enol ether, which is N-acetyl uramic acid. And then that starts picking up peptides. These amino acids. And we wind up with this acetylmuramal pentapeptide. Then it picks up a dealanine, dealanine. And shown over here on the left is L-alanine and its conversion via racemase to dealanine, and then a synthetase that forms dealanine. Cycloserine, we don't care about. That's just not used. So it's nice that we form this dealanine, and certainly that sticks on the end here, and we'll see down below why that's important. But then this muramal pentapeptide gets picked up by this big 55 carbon precursor. It has a 55 carbon compound. And there's phospholipid here. It's 55 carbon compound. And what this compound does is picks up precursors to the cell wall. From the cytoplasm. So it's a gigantic carrier of sorts. So here we are at the start, it's picking up this muramal pentapeptide. Once that comes in and is attached to that compound, N-acetylglucosamine comes in. Then we start looking at glycine transferases coming in. This is the caption says here, this is the cell wall in Staph aureus. There's slight differences from different bacteria, but Staph has always kind of been the model for what's going on. Let's see. So we wind up with all these glycines on here. So we got a pentapeptide with 5 glycine molecules. And now it's going to need to be transferred to the acceptor, which is the growing cell wall. And that gets transferred. Then the phospholipid is freed again, but it needs to lose that phosphate group. And bacitracin will block the loss of that phosphate and not allow the phospholipid to function properly. It's a topical agent. Most of you know about it. Most mothers of children know about it. It's quite often the topical antibiotic that's used. It's an old one, but it's been around for a long time. It's still quite useful. So bacitracin's on your drug list. Look at the other big one in here that I've kind of gone past, vancomycin. Resistocin I don't care about. But the vancomycin has been an incredibly useful tool clinically. And been around for quite a while now. We are getting some resistance that I'm going to talk about, but quite often in short we just call it vanc. But what vanc is going to do is inhibit the transfer to that growing chain. And this dealanine is what binds the vancomycin. And it's a steric hindrance. Vancomycin is an absolutely huge molecule. It's one of the biggest molecules I know of as far as drugs go. So huge, orally it doesn't get out of the GI. Doesn't get into the blood-brain barrier. So it's a very, very large molecule. That produces a steric hindrance, so we don't get the binding, we don't get the transfer of that pentapeptide to the growing chain. Yeah. Obviously, it treats things, and we'll come back to this, but MRSA, methicillin-resistant Staph aureus, is a big one. GI, Clostridium difficile. an Enterococcus. Enterococcus, we used to call it bee strep. We don't do that anymore, but I always do that because it reminds me. Enterococcus is such a nasty infection, I want to tend to think it's gram-negative. It's not, it's gram-positive. So, very, very valuable tool that we have clinically. At this point, I think I'll go ahead and mention, just so it's a matter of repetition, we are seeing resistance to vancomycin. And resistance occurs by the bacteria. Let's go up here. Yeah. The bacteria will change that last dealanine to delactate. And once that happens, say, vanc no longer binds. And that's why we have the vancomycin-resistant Enterococcus, the vancomycin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus, the Staph aureus. We think the Enterococcus shared a little present plasmid with the staph. That's why the staph got the vancomycin resistance. But that's been a big problem clinically, of course. What do we do when we have big resistance? Okay, so really the big drugs on the page are bacitracin and vancomycin. Okay, but assuming you don't have drugs in there to stop things from happening, the next thing that has to happen is that we've got these pentapeptides. What's happening down in Evansville, George? I'm not having any problem on this end. I can reboot something, but my pen is working. Are you guys plugged in, or are you using Wi-Fi? Can you not even get into Adobe Connect? It does sound like it's on your end. See if you can plug in. Classroom computers, the Ethernet probably is. Reboot the classroom computer, shut it down. I'm going to keep going, but go ahead and shut down that classroom computer all the way. You'll lose 2 minutes, but this is recorded. Shut it all the way down, bring it back up, and see if it doesn't work. That's kind of the magic for fixing things with Adobe Connect. Okay, but the next step we're going to have, of course, is the transpeptidase, where it sheds a dealanine, and we wind up with this cross-linking. Until you have the cross-linking, you don't really have a net around the cell at all. Another note on the transpeptidases. Several classes exist. So just because you have a drug that inhibits staph transpeptidase, it's not necessarily going to work on an E. coli transpeptidase. Okay, this next table that I have in here, I always get a lot of questions on it because students go, what do you want us to know? And the answer to that is not much, okay? There isn't much here. What we're looking at is an electrophoretic gel, E. coli, where they use radioactive penicillin, used a detergent, and then they used the gel electrophoresis, and they separated out these different proteins that bound penicillin. And when we look at this, yeah, okay, here's the transpeptidases. Certainly they, by the way, PBP stands for penicillin binding proteins. So we've got these penicillin binding proteins. My only point here is penicillin binds more than the transpeptidase. And I don't want you to memorize anything else here. Just be aware that there are other penicillin binding proteins that are needed for full penicillin action. And I'll give an example of that later on in this handout. But at this point, all I want you to be aware of, when people talk about penicillin binding proteins, they are talking about the transpeptidase, but there's other things that it binds to. Some don't mean much, some do. Okay, looking at the penicillins, this is a quick review chart. We're going to go into each of these a little bit more detail. But starting off here, there's the basic structure of the penicillin. And this, of course, is the site of the penicillinase, and it breaks that beta-lactam ring. A four-membered ring like that is very unusual in biology. Those bonds are highly stressed. So a medicinal chemist would look at that and go, oh, that's pretty unusual. Those bonds are highly stressed. Needs to stress on those bonds, or pretty easily broken. But we have a lot of different penicillins. When we look at these molecules, other things of note, that R group and the carboxyl group. If you go way back to handout 2 in this course, that lends a lot of these drugs, they're at least candidates. For renal secretion. Some of them, like the good old penicillin G, they're not just candidates, they win. They're gone in 30 minutes, they're so good. What else have we got here? Oh, the R group. This R group can be modified, and we modify the R to change, well, they don't do it to change the potency, but it does. Most of these newer penicillins, as we'll see, patients think, was it potent? And sometimes I tease them and say, no, it's not. And they're really shocked when I clarify that. Nothing was as potent as penicillin G. But the newer ones, they do, although they've lost the potency, you have to give a lot more, they do have a better spectrum. And finally, this also will change the kinetics of the drug. So the R group is modified from results in potency changes, but the goal was to change the spectrum usually, and sometimes the kinetics. Actually, when I talk about kinetics, I'm also talking about PO absorption versus IV, so quite often that was the goal. Let's look at the first one here. Good old penicillin G. This is, the rest of the table is just looking at the R groups. Problems with penicillin G. Highly active against gram-positive, okay. Doesn't do so well against gram-negatives. Acid labile. And destroyed by beta-lactamases. So you could give the old penicillin G orally, but it didn't work well at all. So these days, when it's given as a parenteral administration, which means you're going to be in hospital, basically. So what they came up with, though, is penicillin V. Phenoxymethylpenicillin is what the full name is, but nobody calls it that. We just call it Pen V. And all they've done here is put in this oxygen bridge, and with that, they got oral stability, or acid resistance. So this Pen V is quite often thought of as the oral Pen G. You want to go oral, and most people do. Much easier way to do it. The next group down, the methicillin, the oxacillin, we'll be, as I said, look at these more, but on the left there, they're acid labile. On the right, they've got some resistance. They are to acid, they're acid stable. So on the left there, the methicillin, it's going to have to be given parenterally. Whereas these ones on the right, the oxacillin, cloxacillin, dicloxacillin, they can be given as oral administration. The big advantage of these drugs, though, over the penicillin G is that these compounds resist the lactamase from staph. By the way, I kind of interconvert between the words penicillin, penicillinase, and lactamase. When it's a lactamase, it actually breaks down a penicillin. It should be called a penicillinase. But all these compounds, these lactamases, a subset of them are penicillinases that work specifically on penicillins. Others work on cephalosporins, and unfortunately, some even work on carbapenems these days. So there's a lot of different lactamases out there. Penicillinases, or penases, are a subset. Okay, what else have we got? Napsil kind of fits in with this, what we just finished with. I would hook it in up here. It's very similar. Yeah, this says by mouth and by vein. Nobody gives, I've never seen napsil given orally. It's by mouth. But again, it's resistant to staph lactamase. All right, so at this point, we've made some good progress. We've gotten these drugs that are resistant to lactamase. We don't have anything, though, that really resists or that gets into the gram-negative arena. Everything up to here is pretty much staph and strep. Well, ampicillin came along, and this says acid stable here. Let's scratch that out. We used to give ampicillin orally. There's a better way to go at it, though. We'll see in a second here. But the big deal here was that it was active against gram-negative bacteria. So things like E. coli, they can work quite well. But really, it should only be used for parenteral administration. And the reason we say that is because amoxicillin, very similar to ampicillin, but better absorbed, gives higher blood levels. You get it out of the GI, so you're not filling the GI flora. Less effect on the GI flora versus oral amp. So why would you give oral ampicillin? I know at the VA for years we still hung on to it because some of our older patients with COPD, that was the drug they trusted. So we kept it, but eventually it got phased out. But you can think of amoxicillin as the oral ampicillin. But these drugs will still get some gram negatives, some gram positives. Well, we really haven't got really good penetration into the gram-negative arena until we came up with this last group on the lower left here. And this is the carbenicillin, and carbenicillin is mentioned here. Piperacillin has really been the one that's taken over this group, as we'll see. We'll come back, I'll explain why. But piperacillin is the one in this group that's really useful. But these are resistant against gram-negative aerobes. So what we see with this group is excellent gram-negative coverage, especially the aerobes. So that's a quick 5 to 10 minute run through on the different penicillins. Okay, a note here on binding of penicillin to the transpeptidase. I know you guys learned about this at Michael last year, but there's some specifics about it that you probably either don't remember or weren't mentioned, I would gather. When we look at the transcriptase enzyme, it comes in and binds the penicillin, but notice that it's a covalent binding. Okay, is that all right, George? Okay. But covalent binding with drugs is unusual. I mean, most of the time we talk about van der Waals forces, ionic forces, but that covalent binding, yes, it's certainly unusual. But think about how that changes the game here. We don't have to maintain a high plasma level anymore. This enzyme is bound on there. Got some room up here. The normal situation with reversible drugs. We go back to where we started the course. Plasma concentration on the y-axis, time on the x-axis. And somewhere around 4 half-lives, we got up to steady state. But that's with reversible drugs. If you guys go watch a Grand Rounds and watch a infectious disease doctor talking, they don't talk like that. They don't talk about 4 half-lives like this. With some drugs they might. But really what they look for is plasma concentration and time. And they look, and a lot of the drugs, it's a big peak and it comes back down almost to 0. So you've got these huge peaks and troughs. And you might think, well, the drug isn't working during the trough. There isn't hardly any of the plasma at all. It all got excreted. But you got to remember, the drug is covalently bound. So because it's bound covalently, it is still working. When, I'll say it like that, the plasma drug concentration. Falls. So, during those troughs, you won't be able to measure hardly any drug. You might think, why are we letting it go down to 0? That's not how we do drugs. But again, it's covalently bound. And quite often when the drug is working during these troughs, the terminology that gets used is we call it, and I don't love this term, but they call it a post-antibiotic effect. And that the drug is still working even though when you can't see it in the plasma anymore. Let's see, some other notes here of interest. Formation of these penicillin spheroplasts. And we can actually put the bacteria in a medium that contains penicillin, or without the penicillin, of course. And on the left there is the what we normally see with no drugs present. You have to have a growth site. And for that growth site, you've got to, as the caption says, you have to have linking of the cell wall by these autolytic enzymes. How else are you going to get the peptidoglycan to grow if you don't nick it where you can insert new material? And there'll be this nicking of the peptidoglycan. And with that we get growth of the peptidoglycan and eventually normal growth medium. And we'll get, finally we'll get division. But what we've noticed with penicillin, if you put it in an isotonic medium, that's the key here. Penicillin in an isotonic containing medium, so it won't, it's not hypertonic or it would cause it to burst open. What do we see? We still get the nicking occurring, but there's no growth of the cell wall because the transpeptidase is inhibited, plus the binding of those other penicillin binding proteins. And with that, we can actually have a spheroplast outgrow its cell wall. What a neat oddity. One of the things I want to bring up about this, though, because it used to confuse me, it's like working in the clinic with doctors, occasionally a patient would come in with a really nasty abscess. And we'd call the surgeons, and the surgeons would come in and scrape out that abscess, and oh man, unbelievable smell. Just unbelievable. But I was always asking, I know they can't scrape so well that they get every last bacteria there. Why are they bothering to clean out that abscess? And the answer to that is, when you clean out the abscess, bacteria start to grow again. And when they're growing rapidly, that's when the penicillin and the other cell wall inhibitors will work. So, for the pins to work, bacteria must be growing. Therefore, we clean an abscess. Scrape it up. Not with the idea that we're going to, even when you put topical antibiotics in there, you're not going to kill all the bacteria. It's in tissue there. But it does allow the bacteria to start growing quickly again. And then you zap it with a cell wall inhibitor. Okay, let's see, look at the role of autolysins in this bactericidal effect. What are these autolysins? I mentioned them on the previous page with the nicking on the cell wall. But they'll clip strands of the peptidoglycan in order to allow insertion of the new material. Well, teichoic acid in the cell wall prevents the autolysins from working. Beta-lactam antibiotics induce the release of teichoic acid from the cell wall, and that results in unopposed autolysin activity, and therefore you get an increase in nicking. See, that's a good example of binding to a penicillin binding protein doing something other than inhibiting transpeptidase. So, right there. But it's a penicillin binding other than the transpeptidase that's leading to this release of the teichoic acid. An example shown here. This is looking at two strains of Bacillus subtilis, something that's not a clinical pathogen. It's a soil organism that doesn't really cause much trouble in humans. But they've got these two different strains. One of them is autolysin deficient. It says here in the caption, autolysin deficient mutant. And what we see is, both strains grow. And they do just fine if no penicillin, without the penicillin present. So the autolysin deficient mutant has got some way of coming around with something else to clip peptidoglycan. Something's got to allow the growing of that peptidoglycan. And to do that, you've got to have nicking. It just isn't the autolysins that we're used to. Well, what we see here, this is the addition of the penicillin. And here we've got the mutant that's autolysin deficient. What we see when we add penicillin is a static effect. Yeah. Penicillin is a classic bactericidal drug. So suddenly it's shifted over to a static effect. What we see here, down at the bottom, is the normal and expected cidal effect. So these out-of-license clearly play an important role in the bactericidal effect of penicillin. That's all I'm trying to say here. Yeah. Same phenomenon was observed with the addition of cycloserine, bank, or bacitracin. Yeah, because these are all cell wall drugs. Okay, some notes on penicillin G. We don't use it a whole lot anymore, but it is around and occasionally it's quite useful. On the y-axis here on the left, we've got renal excretion. We've also got the plasma penicillin concentration. On the right is the renal excretion, and cumulative renal excretion, probably closer to 90%. There's 5 to 10% that goes out, maybe 10% in the bile. But that renal tubule, with all the secretion of the penicillin G, is going to pour it out through there. What else do we see here? A pretty quick excretion. Look at the plasma concentration here. We've got a peak. And notice this is an intramuscular injection. It wasn't IV. So as it's being absorbed, some is already being excreted when it gets excreted this quickly. What we see is in 30 minutes, half-life somewhere on the order of 30 minutes. And of course, going back to basic principles again, that can be altered by a drug that competes with the secretion. And can increase the half-life by blocking. The renal secretion. And probenecid is the drug that gets used. Probenecid. It's the one that gets used most often to block the penicillin. It was very useful in World War II. They were losing this antibiotic that they needed, and they would block the secretion with probenecid. When that happens, the T1 half of penicillin is around 4 hours, which is very typical for glomerular filtration excretion. So, okay, some other notes. When do we use penicillin? Well, it still is the drug of choice for some things. We'll look at that. There are these different forms of penicillin G. Here's good old pen G. Then we've got these different forms, procaine and benzathine. And with these compounds, these are next to insoluble, slowly dissolved from the intramuscular sites. So maybe I should say they're next to insoluble in water. And you're putting them into an ion site. Muscle equals water. So you're putting something that's not soluble in water into a water compartment. You certainly can't give it IV because these are suspensions where the drug is in clumps, the visible clumps. But upon absorption, these suspensions will slowly dissolve, very, very slowly dissolve into the water of muscle. I do say that good. Slowly dissolve from the ion sites, and once they're slowly dissolved, they'll get absorbed. And once they're in the plasma, the procaine or the benzathine gets split off. So what you get is a very long, I should say it's a long duration of action is a better way to say it. It's a very long duration of action. This is still the drug of choice. Benzathine is for treating syphilis. let's see, some notes on inhibitory concentrations of penicillin. Yeah, we know a milligram is 1,667 units, but nobody talks about that. In terms when we talk about PMG, we talk about units. But keep in mind, typically we want a plasma concentration 4 times the MIC. And if you go back and remember the cancer lectures, I said, with a cancer drug, you want to kill every cancer cell. But with a bacterial infection, we just want to slow down the infection and let the immune system take over. That's all we're trying to do here. Even whether, that's why it really, in a lot of cases, it doesn't matter whether you're using a cycle drug or a static drug. Slow the infection down, let the swamped immune system catch up. But if the infection's in the CNS, you're probably going to need to go with 10 times the MIC. Because the CNS doesn't have the immune system that the rest of our body does. Macrophages and so on to start there. Okay, I've included this table. It's kind of an old table, as we'll see, but part of what overwhelms everybody when they look at antibiotics is these long tables. And notice this is the spectrum of these drugs. Most of the time, you guys, we don't care about the spectrum of an antibiotic. What's the spectrum versus what are the indications? That's what you guys care about. When a drug is brand new, it's come out on the market, it's fine. Tell me what its spectrum is. I'll have some idea. Is it gram positive, gram negative? But even then, if I'm talking to a drug rep, I'll say, what's it labeled for? What are its indications? Because that gets a lot simpler. And as we, what do we still use PIN-G for today? What are the PIN-G indications? It gets pretty simple. One, it still works for a lot of strep infections. As I mentioned on the other page, it's for syphilis, treponema, that's a causative organism. It's still the drug of choice. Frequently, it gets used for three here. I'll just point to the Neisseria. The last one I'll put on here is Clostridia. Unfortunately, it does not get used for the difficile, Clostridium difficile. It gets used for the perfringens. It causes the gangrene, the tetani. But that makes this quite a bit simpler. Again, keep spectrum separate from indications. Your life will be a lot easier. These other drugs, I'll just say, we'll come back to these later. But don't be bowled over by these drugs. It can be a lot. Okay, I want to look at the action of the penicillinases on penicillin. And I've included this upper route. Maybe I should get rid of it. This upper route is a pretty minor one. We don't really care about it. But the focus of this is on the penicillinase. And if we look at this splitting open of the beta-lactam ring, what's the difference between what happens here and what this transpeptidase does? Does this differ from the transpeptidase? If so, how? What's different? This was a few pages ago, but keep that in mind. We've got the penicilloic acid. And then we got the penicillin enzyme. What's the difference? You broke it open, the beta-lactam ring there in both cases. So why is it that the transpeptide, these penicillinases are so bothersome? And they are. Math test tomorrow. I'll give you guys the answer here. The answer is penase is free. That transpeptidase was covalently bound. So what happens is we wind up with penicillic acid and the penase. And of course the penicillinase is going to go and do this again. And again, and again, and again, and again. A molecule of penicillinase can do 800 molecules of penicillin in a second. Molecules of Pen-G in a second. Unbelievable. So what we've done to try and combat this is increase the R group. So by adding a bulky R group, we now wind up with a molecule that has a decreased affinity for the penicillinase. Again, it's a steric inhibition. The penicillinase can't come in so easily if that R group is really large. And you might think, well, that's great. It is great. But if you decrease the penicillin's affinity for the penicillinase, you usually decrease the penicillin's affinity for the transpeptidase. And if you decrease the affinity for the transpeptidase, you decrease the potency. So as long as a bacteria is not putting out penicillinase, we don't have much trouble with potency. We use good old Pen-G. But as soon as it starts putting out the penicillinase, and we use one of these bulky R group penicillins, boom, our potency falls off. But as I've always said, potency doesn't matter a whole lot. You just give more. But what we found is gram-positives, they will wipe out a dose of penicillin. It never really gets a chance to see the penicillin proteins. Additionally, the gram-positives will actually secrete penicillinase into the environment. So, once that penicillinase gets expressed, good old penicillin G is done. And so is amoxicillin and ampicillin. Okay, I'll see you guys back in 10 minutes. Let's take a break.